Hey everybody, welcome back to our furniture flipping adventure. I'm Sarah and today I'm going to be making over this old desk. It has some great bones, but it also has a lot of scratches and surface damage that we're going to have to deal with. And it's also separating at the bottom of this side. So we're going to be pulling it apart, gluing it, putting it back together, clamping it, and I'll show you how we're going to do it so that if you come across a problem that's similar, you can fix it too. Now my plan is to sand down the drawer fronts and paint the body so this piece will be fresh and new and ready to go into somebody's home to be a student desk or a work from home center or just a statement piece in a room. Let's get flipping. All right, so let's get to fixing this separating bottom. And as you can see, it's separated over here. And let me just move you real quick, and also over on this side. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be making sure there's nothing keeping this from going in here. I'll take out any old glue or whatever that's in here. And then I'll be putting new glue in between this and then in the track that this is supposed to sit in. I'll do the same for the other side. I may have to hammer it back together some. We'll see, and then I'll get it all clamped up, and that should be all we need to do to make it sturdy again. It appears as if these drawers had originally a knob on them and somebody repaired it. This is a wood plug. I'll show you on the inside. So I wonder if this desk has already been refinished once. It's very interesting. But underneath the handle, you couldn't see it at all. I don't know who out there needs to hear this, but your lungs are extremely important to you. So wear yourself a mask while you sand. So while my glue is drying, my clamps are on, I went ahead and sanded the dings from probably a chair hitting the desk. I sanded them all smooth, and I'm gonna be priming because I'm down to raw wood and I just don't want any bleed through issues. So I'm going to be taking my bin primer and priming the bottom while it's upside down, and then I'll flip it over, see what I want to do with the dings in the top, if they need filled or if I can just sand them out, and then I'll be priming up there too. So that's where we are. Let's get going. All right, so obviously plans have changed. My original plan was to have the drawers almost natural wood colored, the very, very light natural wood, and the desk to be painted green. That was my original plan, but because they had this plug in them, there's now this dark circle in the center that I can't sand that out. I can't get rid of it. So then I was like, well, I'm just gonna have to stain it a little darker. I started sanding my top down and I couldn't stop sanding it. It was just, when you get an actual solid wood top like this, it's hard not to just sand it down and keep it, because why paint over it when it's so pretty? And so I did sand it down. I did 2 coats of stain with my circle sponge on these drawer fronts. You could also use a foam brush or even a rag to apply it. My stain color today is American Walnut, and it's actually a stain and poly combo. But I'll have a list and links for all the products that I used today down below in the description. And while you're down there, it would be awesome if you could give me a thumbs up, or better yet, a comment. Thanks so much. It's a very sad day. I wanted to cry. As I was staining the desktop, it decided to rain on me. So you can see where the water hit. I'm not going to make a whole bunch more money because the top is stained and it's not worth my time to re-sand it down. I've let it completely dry to see if maybe the water spots would go. No, they're not going to go away. And what's more, it appears as if there is some sort of, I don't know, maybe some oil or something. There's just some stain spots on the top as well. When I show you the close-up, you'll see them right away. I can't get rid of those. So I'm looking at painting the top again, which means I wasted my time, but I can't waste more time on the top. I have less time than normal to get things done today, so I have to move on. I'm gonna prime it, paint it. Sad day. But it is what it is, and sometimes you just have to let things go. All right, so since absolutely nothing went as planned yesterday, I'm just gonna go with the theory that it can only go up from here, and I'm gonna get this lightly sanded, get another coat of paint on, and let's get this project finished. I think I forgot to mention yesterday that I'm using Behr's chalk paint in Fig Tree that I have left over from this flip, and it's not one of the usual regular Behr chalk paint colors, but if you find the right mixist who's there, they can get it mixed up for you. All right, so it's time for me to get top coat on this. I'm using my polyurethane by Varathane today, and I have a big old gallon that I've just used for all my projects that I have right now, and I rolled on at least maybe two, more like 1.5 coats of paint. Then I took my brush, I dipped it in a little bit of water before I dipped it in my paint just to kind of water things down, and I got a really thin smoothing coat with my brush over everything, and that's how my finish is. And so yep, I'm gonna get onto the top coat. I'm gonna put at least 2 on the sides, probably 3, at least 3 on the top, because the top's gonna see a lot more wear and use. And yeah, I already put it on the drawers yesterday, so this should be our last step, and we just gotta put our poles on and get it staged after that, and we're almost done. Home stretch. All right, so this desk fought me a little bit and didn't want to do exactly what I wanted it to, but I still love how it turned out. Now you may notice that the only way I could get rid of those circle plugs from where the knobs used to be is to cover them. I had to switch out the hardware. I'm gonna keep the beautiful hardware that was on here before for another project. I have 8 of them, so I think they will find a new home before long. So this updated hardware completely covers the circle and gives it a little bit less feminine a look. The pretty French handles were a little bit feminine, so I think this is actually a more neutral look that will appeal to a lot more buyers. I did buy the desk for $25. I have about $15 in materials and then $15 in poles. I found these poles, they're brand new, but I found a big lot of them that somebody was selling on Marketplace, and I bought them for about $2 a pole. So I was lucky enough to have a stash of them. They actually didn't perfectly fit in my holes, but they were close enough that I just lightly hammered either side. I wrapped it in a rag and I tapped both sides until the pegs slid into the hole, and they fit just fine now. and wrapping it in a rag means I didn't ding up the sides either. So they, so they were 3 inches, and my holes were apparently just a teensy scrunch closer, so that was an easy fix. And like I said, I already had them in my stash, but I paid about $2 a piece for them when I bought the lot. There are 8 of them, so that's about $16, approximately $15 in the stain and primer and paint that I put in. We're just around $30 for materials and $25 for the desk, so I'm in it for about $55. But it turned out super handsome, and my husband was already like, oh, that could go in my office, but it's not big enough for him and he can't have it. I'm selling it. So hopefully we'll be able to find a buyer quickly. So while this piece did present me with a few problems and it's not exactly what I had planned, I think it turned out just as good, if not better, than my original plans anyway. In flipping, you're going to come across a lot of pieces that give you trouble and buck you and present you with unforeseen issues, like those plugs that just didn't match the rest of my wood, and you just have to find solutions and work around them. And the mistakes that we make along the way, like the mistakes I made on the top with trying to stain it, I actually, now that it's finished, I'm glad that I have a painted top. I think it actually probably looks better, but always use your mistakes as learning points. Don't let them defeat you. Move through them and grow through them. If we're not trying new things and getting out of our comfort zones, then we're not growing. And if we're not growing and learning, then we're gonna get stuck in a rut and get tired and bored of what we do. So in furniture flipping, always be ready to try something new, but just know it's just paint. It's just stain. You can sand it back, you can fix your problems, you can learn, and you can move on. If you enjoyed today's video, I'd love to see you subscribe and leave me a comment. I'd love to talk with you down in the comments, and let's learn from each other. I was very excited for us to reach our first goal, which was 250 subscribers in our first month. We reached that goal, and now we are already at 350 subscribers, so I'm very thankful for that. By the time this episode goes out, hopefully we'll be even higher. My husband is heading out to take some kids to camp this week, so it's just me and the kiddos, so my next flip may be in my kitchen. We'll see. So keep flipping, keep learning, keep making mistakes, keep getting messy, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.